Now that we've established why effective stakeholder consultation is so important, let's take a look at the practical steps needed to create new urban law, starting with establishing the terms of reference. It's worth investing time, money and effort at the start to set this process up for success. Briefs that are shallow, vague, confusing or overly broad can't produce good law. So ideally, get a team of urban law experts to draft your terms of reference, even if this means hiring external consultants. The first thing to address is the scope of the law reform process. And here it's important to balance realism and ambition. Trying to solve all the problems at once is a recipe for law that's too broad and all-encompassing to actually achieve anything specific. At the same time, framing the brief too tightly can result in a law that's too limited to achieve anything worthwhile. Having experienced experts on your team can help to avoid these risks. Secondly, the brief should specify what the outcomes of the process need to be. Do you want an overarching, all-encompassing law that tackles multiple urban challenges, or a series of separate, more focused laws that incrementally contribute to a comprehensive body of legislation over time? This decision is never easy to make. Some factors to consider include: what's the political and technical appetite for reform? Is there the will and stamina required to see through an all-at-once approach? Or would it be easier to focus on one or two dimensions first? If we choose to focus on one or two issues, can we improve one part of the system in isolation, or will our reforms be undermined by legacy issues elsewhere in the system? If we choose the ambitious all-in-one approach, will drafters, stakeholders and implementers actually be able to grasp and deal with all the issues in one process? Finally, the brief needs to specify the various roles of the teams and team members working on the process. Drafting a new law is complex and stressful, and clear roles and lines of accountability will minimize conflict. In most cases, a team of experts will be responsible for drafting under the guidance of a wider committee of government officials. Each group needs clear terms of reference that make it clear what is expected of each of them and what they can expect from the others. Lines of accountability need to be specified between the drafting team and the drafting team leader, between the government steering committee and the committee leader, between the drafting team leader and the committee leader, between the committee and team leaders and the politicians responsible for the project. Make everything explicit upfront rather than trying to make ad hoc judgments along the way. And be alert to issues of personal ambition, power, prestige, and competing agendas. It's also important to understand when and how political considerations are likely to emerge and specify who will be responsible for addressing them when they do. Who should be on the drafting team? Ideally, more than one person. You should aim for a team that includes local experts who know the country's existing legal context, government officials who will have to implement the new law, and a range of technical, legal, academic, commercial and practical expertise. Lawyers, urban planners, economists, environmentalists, building experts, transportation engineers, land surveyors, political scientists, social development experts, and developers are all useful to have on board in different capacities.